Welcome back to Raven Sports Recap. I'm your host, Amanda Panaro, and joining me now for field hockey is expert Kristin Carbone. Kristin, I appreciate you being here today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So let's talk about the Ravens season to date. They are 3-6 overall, 1-1 in conference play. But the area they struggle most seems to be on their home turf. The team has gone 0-3 while playing on Sodexo Field. So where do you see room for improvement in their home game presence?
Well, definitely pretty much anywhere at this point because they are 0-3, haven't won yet. And they have 6 home games remaining out of their last 9. So if they can win at home, that's a big deal. And I think the biggest part is that they don't play a full 70 minutes in a game. 35-minute halves, they look great. Their first home game against Delphi, they were tied 1-1, and Delphi is a great team. And then they let up 4 unanswered goals.
Right.
And it just seemed like, not necessarily a collapse, but they didn't seem to be attacking as much. Their defense didn't really necessarily give up, but they just didn't seem to have that full 70 minutes. If they can get 70 minutes of play, maintain that attack, they hopefully will get some of those wins in those last 6 home games because they definitely need those.
Right, and absolutely, like you said, of their remaining 9 games, 6 of them are at home, so that could really help turn the season around.
Definitely.
Great. So now the Ravens have had several players recognized with Northeast 10 honors through the month, dating back to September 7th, when senior captain Beth Height was named Defensive Player of the Week. And since that time, she's been joined by classmates Lauren LaRue and Tia Levens, who have also received Northeast 10 Weekly Honor Roll. Now, can you talk about what this senior class brings to the program?
This senior class is almost this program at this point. They've obviously been here for the 4 years where the first year they went to the playoffs, and then the year after they didn't even make it. The next year they were a game away, and then last year they finally made it to the quarterfinals again. So they've seen everything. They know how to bring everything to this game, and they have them all over the field. Beth Height, you said, Defensive Player of the Week, incredible. She's the last line of defense usually in most cases before Britt Nizio and sometimes even behind Britt Nizio, making saves on the goal line.
Right.
And she just brings so much to the game. You may not ever see her on the score sheet, but she's there. She makes the biggest impact on that defensive line. She's a huge piece of that team. And then Lauren LaRue, same thing. She had just had a huge game against Assumption, scored 2 goals, her first multi-point game of her career. So after 4 years to get that is great. And she's one of those quiet in the midfield, making plays happen, not necessarily once again being on the score sheet, but she makes that quiet, important aspect of that game. She's a smart player, knows where to be, and it's just great. And Tia Levens, everyone knows, she's the one that makes the noise. She gets the goals, has 7 goals already on this season, 6 from just last week that play. So hopefully she's turning this team slowly around, getting them on track. And she is going to be that fast player that's always down the line waiting for a pass or across the field waiting for the pass. And she gets on the end of that pass, she can go to goal. And she is going to be an important player down this stretch getting goals for the Franklin Pierce Ravens.
Great. So the senior class, some quiet leaders, some outspoken leaders, but they're the ones that are leading this team. All right, so let's look ahead towards the road coming up for the Ravens. Beginning Saturday, they will take on 4 Northeast 10 opponents in a 7-day span. Now that could really be the defining point to their season. What do you see as their toughest opponent heading into October?
Yeah, this whole stretch is going to be their toughest opponent because they didn't take care of business the first half of the season. They are 3-6, so they have those 9 games left. They could go 6-3 at the end of the season. They'll get to where they were last season. And UMass Lowell and Merrimack will be the toughest opponents out of those, if they not everyone. UMass Lowell is ranked number 3, Merrimack number 7. So they have 2 nationally ranked teams that they're to play against. Already lost to both of them by 4 goals and 5 goals. UMass Lowell is 5 goals. So those would be tough opponents. So if you kind of put those in the loss column, that means they have to win almost every other game to get where they were last year. And if even that puts them in playoff contention, it's not even thinking about that. They just need to get to a 500 plateau would be great. And I just think playing that 70 minutes games and playing tough against UMass Lowell and Merrimack to get confidence back and then beating the rest of the NE10 would be great. And just to get back to 500 would be the best that they could do.
Great. So we're looking for wins late in the season here from the Lady Ravens. Well, that was Kristin Carbone, field hockey expert. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll cover 2 teams that have yet to see competition this season. Kristin, we want to thank you for being here today. Stick around.